good blasters, you say?
Welcome to Hokey Religion, the Star Wars podcast. This episode, we're going to be talking about various things, because there's not a lot. This is Tyler.
This is Michael.
Welcome to episode 70.
70. Episode 70, we did it.
All right.
We got past the sex one.
There's nothing to talk about, so have a good episode. That's it. Wrap it up.
Okay, goodbye.
No, there's a few things.
We have some stuff.
There's a couple things happened that we can talk about.
Yep, we just have nothing going on in our personal lives right now except terrible boredom.
Terrible boredom. Yep. Uninteresting adult things, not the fun adult things.
No,
not
you know
those.
the fun adult stuff.
Uninteresting adult things happening in our lives, like fixing houses and fixing cars. And
I have a zit on my leg. Is that interesting?
How big?
Hmm?
How big?
You want to see?
Nope.
No.
That's not my job.
No.
No. That is not my job. It's not in the description.
See or to diagnose?
Yes.
Can you diagnose this?
Legally?
Is it?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Okay.
As podcast host, I have...
Your title imbues you with special diagnosis.
I have power of attorney over zits.
Power of attorney.
Is that...
What are you doing to these things? I want to divorce my zit.
That's what you do, right?
My zit owes me child support. It's another way for me to get money.
Any way you can.
All right. Well, we've got some things to talk about, and we're going to get out of here.
Why are you're so upset that we have nothing to talk about?
I know.
We
have a show.
We have a
Tyler.
show, but we always make it fun because we're a bunch of idiots.
Engaging and something worth tuning into every other week.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Got to make it engaging and fun for the listener and make it something everybody wants to return to.
Is it really for them?
Downloads. What?
I said, is the show really for them?
No, that's true. If it was for them, we would have stopped it a long time ago.
Sure. All right, so Alden Ehrenreich.
No.
Yep. Alden
Hargenflager. Hargenflager.
Alden
Ehrenreich. Ehrenreich?
Sure. German word. Alden German.
Ehrenreich?
Sure.
Alden Ehrenreich.
That guy playing Han Solo.
Oh, him.
Had an interview with Esquire and is, I guess, let it slip that he is signed on for 3 films.
Oh. You said he let it slip. I got excited.
Well, that's not that magazine.
Oh.
No, but he said they were asking him about the movies and stuff, and he let it slip that he was signed on for 3, and he was like, "Oh, I don't think that's public knowledge." Oops.
Okay, here we go. No, it's not public knowledge.
Now
Does
it
it need to be public knowledge? Number 2. Number 3, no. Go away.
So,
there only needs to be one of these movies.
All right, so yes to those things. It wasn't public knowledge, now it is. There has been no response to him saying that yet, because I guess it's been a few days since he said that.
Well, there wasn't any response to what's his name saying, "When this guy over here die." Remember?
Oh yeah.
Rogue One.
Well, it was taken out of the later restreams.
Was it really?
It was cut. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
They cut it from the restreams of that.
I still remember the faces of everyone sitting there.
Yeah, it was
just like
horrible.
No.
It was horrible. So yeah, Alden is apparently signed on for 3 films. What? Why? How? No.
And no.
Yes. Those are the 4
all
topics we're going to discuss.
Okay, so topic number 1.
What would those 3...
What other Han Solo stories do we need?
So this being one, the Solo film being one of those 3.
Yes.
What other 2 films would there need to be that are, I guess, is this just the Young Indiana Jones series
No, it's
now?
3 more movies. Didn't it say?
I think he said he was signed on for 3 movies.
Oh, total? Okay.
I believe so.
Well then, yeah. So what other stories with young Han Solo do we need?
So this is the Young Indiana Jones series now. Straight to VHS at home. So what? Yeah. So Okay, so we have this Han Solo film, and it's not out yet, and it's gonna be great. Yeah, and it's Han and Chewie. I guess they're barely know each other in this one, and Woody Harrelson's there for some reason, and there's a bad guy with a Nighthawk router on his head, and there's a feminine droid, and the Lando's there with lots of capes. So everyone everyone meets everyone, and all of the things that we've ever heard about. Yeah, all of the everyone is there, and all the things that we've heard about happening with Han Solo are going to happen in this movie. He's going to get the Falcon. He's going to meet the Chewbacca. He's going to meet Lando.
He's going to do the Kessel Run.
He's probably going to do the Kessel Run.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a pilot. That was the best, and they told him he couldn't do it, and now he's going to show him. Just like any Fast and the Furious movie. So all of the things that we need to be...
That's a little known fact about Fast and the Furious. They were all pilots.
Sure.
They all were told that they couldn't do it, so now they drive race cars.
Have you seen some of the newer Fast and the Furious movies?
I have not seen one.
Those cars are basically flying.
I have not seen one Fast and the Furious movie.
What?
I haven't seen any of them.
All right, we're gonna have to watch all of them.
Here's what I think a
We're
Fast
gonna have
and
to
the
drink
Furious
a lot
movie
and
is.
watch all of them because they're real. They're
How
movies.
many are there?
What was Fast 5? Was there Furious 7? Wasn't that one?
I don't know.
There's like a lot of them.
Do I need to look this up?
Sure, look that up. So all of the things that we know about Han Solo's backstory are happening in this movie. All the things are like, hey, look, this thing that we always talked about, here it is. So the what? What would 2 more Han Solo movies be? Just more of Han and Chewie getting into adventures?
Yeah, they would have to be
It would be brand new.
Right?
It would be brand new Han Solo stories.
Well, made up stories. They're all made up stories.
It wouldn't be the true story.
The
real
stuff.
history. the real actual history that happened that was Star Wars. So yeah, so if there were more
it's fake news, these stories.
They will be. So if there were 2 more Han Solo movies, they would be stories since they rebooted the canon, kind of, and we don't have books, and they can use some of the stuff from the books. Is it just going to be new Han Solo adventures of him being young for no reason? Just to have more...
Being young for no reason?
No, just his adventures. Just to have more young Han Solo adventures when no one's really requested that?
Yeah. No.
Because there's been a pretty long-lasting fan request to have different Star Wars stories.
Right, which gets into our second point. Why? Why is this something that they feel is necessary?
So I think
one's asking.
The majority of people want a Obi-Wan movie, right?
Yeah.
That's like everyone wants an Obi-Wan Kenobi film.
Or Boba Fett.
Or Boba Fett.
Those are the 2.
Boba Fett seems less likely. And how much do you bet we're going to see Boba Fett in this movie?
I would say if we do, it's just going to be a passing thing.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see him. I like 100%.
Maybe
we will see Boba
maybe
Fett.
they'll have some kind of scene where they set up the rivalry.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
So there's been a large outcry for Boba Fett and Obi-Wan. There was never a request for a Han Solo movie. There was never any inkling for a Han Solo movie. I guess they just got a story with Kasdan to work that they're like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's do it or something.
Yeah. That's how Rogue One started, basically.
And they've already mentioned 2 more trilogies happening.
Yeah.
Outside of the main trilogy.
Well, 1 trilogy and then another series. They never said exactly how many movies were going to be in it.
Ryan's, right?
No, Ryan's was the trilogy, and then the Game of Thrones guys.
A series of movies.
Yeah. So
I guess however many it takes for them to write whatever story, do whatever story they're trying to tell.
Right.
So we've already got a bunch of more movies coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, again, we have no timeline for any of this, which I'm assuming they're going to be a long while out since they were just announced and probably not even fully written yet.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just going to be like the next 6 years is just going to be Han Solo movies?
So that gets into our third point. How?
How is this going to happen?
How are they going to do 2 more Han Solo movies when we have all this junk coming out?
Yeah, we've got
coming up.
At least another 5 movies already announced.
Yeah. Where
And
are they
I
gonna
guess
fit this?
I guess now possibly 2 more Han Solo movies
So does
for
this
some
mean-
reason.
Does this mean all the standalone movies coming up are just going to be Han Solo?
Right. That's what I was.
That's
what I was getting to.
terrible.
That was the.
That has to be terrible.
That was the how. All of the upcoming movies. It's just going to be a young Han Solo trilogy, I guess now.
Okay, look, I would be fine if. So we were talking about movies that would go to the streaming service, or we were talking about TV shows, but
You want these to be direct to streaming
yeah,
movies?
I kind of do.
With the names attached. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Alden was in popular movies. I doubt he's going to be going straight to streaming on Disney. I wonder if
Probably true. But doesn't it seem like
if Donald Glover has also been signed on for multiple movies? I doubt that. I doubt he would do
really
that many Star Wars movies.
I don't know.
How is this? How would that work? How would there be more Han Solo movies?
If Alden is as good of a Han Solo as everybody's saying he is, then Donald Glover is that much better at Lando.
Right.
So,
but you don't need him for a Han Solo movie.
No, I guess not. I mean, it depends on what happens in this one. If because we get back to Lando and Empire where he hasn't seen Han, they haven't seen each other for a long time.
Right.
The implication, I guess, is that they haven't seen each other since he took the Falcon from Lando, right?
They've probably been involved here and there.
It could be. I mean, maybe they have seen each other since then, but it's been a while.
Right.
It seems like. So, yeah, the question is this movie the last time they see each other?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying if Lando does come back, of course it's going to be Donald Glover. It's not going to be anybody else.
Well, yes. He's busy enough though that I just don't see that happening.
Maybe.
And in the fourth point, no. We don't we don't need this.
Consider everything we've said up to now, and then the answer is no.
Right. And I don't want to keep hating on the Han Solo movie because it hasn't even come out, and I really want it to be good.
We've been doing a lot of hating on all this stuff lately.
Right. I'm not excited by Star Wars right now, which is frustrating because of the Han Solo movie, because I think it's
there's a lot of reasons. We can talk about the other ones.
We didn't need Han Solo. I've said this so many times. We didn't need the Han Solo movie right now. We needed something new.
Yeah.
And
but
if
we're about to get that.
If we're getting 2 more Han Solo movies, we're not going to get we're going to get something new, but with the same characters.
With these 2 separate series that
well,
eventually,
I guess in a long time.
At least Ryan's is going to be new. I don't know about the
yeah.
Game of Thrones guys, what that's going to be, but
everything has to be quote new because they're not going to reboot any previous movies.
Jon Favreau TV show.
Right.
That's probably going to be new, I would imagine.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, I guess it makes sense that you keep using the characters that everyone knows and loves, but at some point, don't you just want to have other stories in this universe that aren't revolving around those same people? Because there's so much other stuff that's happened that could be interesting and just be in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people shit themselves over the fact that any Star Wars movie is different than a Star Wars movie that's already existed.
Shit themselves in a bad way or a good?
Yeah, the bad shitting yourself.
Okay, not the good shitting yourself.
No,
where you're like,
not the enjoyable one.
Oh, it's so warm.
Yeah, right. Because The Last Jedi was different, and dear God, why would you ruin Star Wars? My childhood has been replaced with your shit.
And I think what you'll find, Tyler, is that people will find something to complain about in everything.
Yes, just like us complaining about a movie that hasn't even come out yet.
Exactly. But I feel like we have very good reasons, and we've stated those reasons very clearly.
I don't, because anything I say is going to sound like I'm trying to defend myself.
Against what? A hypothetical person saying that you're a bad person?
Sure. The complaining about Star Wars right now is this entitlement to Star Wars, and you ruined my Star Wars, and that's not my Luke. And
but that's not why we're saying this about.
Exactly.
That's not the reason we're saying this.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. I am defending myself because that's exactly what I'm doing. And it's not because I'm entitled to Star Wars. It's because I want new Star Wars. I want it to be not my Star Wars.
Well,
right?
first of all, we've seen how good it can be with Last Jedi. And we've
Yes.
already given all of our many reasons why that's such a
And
great
I'm
movie.
fine with a Han Solo movie. It's coming out. I have to be fine with that existing.
Yeah.
But it looks from a film existing standpoint of a film coming out that exists, that whether it's Star Wars or not, the trailers look like a movie that I could care less about going to see.
Yeah, because it looks so generic.
Yes, it looks like any of the action movies or Maze Runner
we've already said all
like
this.
any of Maze Runner or any of those movies that have come out that are like teen to
Action movie.
teen summer blockbuster film. It's a trailer and I see it and I'm like, it doesn't even though it has Star Wars tied to the name, I could care less. It looks like a bad movie.
It looks like a movie for your mom.
For your mom?
Yeah. For your mom.
Mine specifically. It looks like a movie that your mom has to take you to because you can't drive yet.
No, I'm saying it looks like a movie for
for people.
Let's just say your parents. The people who aren't invested in any of this shit and are like, they see a trailer and they're like, "Oh, that's that Star Wars you're always talking about.
Oh, and he's young and hot now.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm going to go see that."
I guess. But yeah, so it's my frustration over Solo is not an entitlement to Star Wars and like that's not my Han Solo or that's not my Woody Harrelson because who gives a shit about him? It just doesn't.
You're ruining Woody Harrelson. No, he was so good up until now.
Let him do that himself. It looks like an objectively bad film from everything I've seen about it. It just looks like a generic action film that comes out in the summer that I won't go see because it looked like I saw a stupid trailer once and I was like, oh, that looks generic and I don't care.
I disagree. I don't think it's an objectively bad film. I think it's just a plain film.
Plain. Maybe that's
like, it's not bad.
Maybe my standards are skewed to just plain films being objectively bad.
It's not bad, but it's not great. It's just in the middle. You see it, it'll, like we said before, we're going to sit down, it's going to be enjoyable, and then you're going to walk out and forget all of it.
Exactly.
It's just,
and that's
just
sad.
A plain...
And I don't want that out of a Star Wars movie. I want it to be new and different and exciting.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that an entitlement? Is that an entitlement to new Star Wars?
It's an entitlement to, I want it to be not my Star Wars.
It could be better than this.
Like, think of War of the Planet of the Apes. Have you seen War of the Planet? Oh, you bitch. That is
okay.
That movie is so good. It is fantastic.
Hey, also Woody Harrelson in that, right?
It's true. And that's okay because the movie was so good. Okay. It's such a good movie, but it's obviously another movie in a franchise that has been around forever.
Yeah.
And it's just so well done and the story is so good and the acting is so good and it's just I don't know. It's just such a good movie and a thing that has had shitty movies. Even the first one wasn't that great, but they got better after that.
I've everything that I've seen from that series so far has been really
right.
good.
So the new one was just like so good and focused, and the story was, like I said, the story was so well written, and the characterization and the emotion, and it didn't. I don't know. It didn't feel like it had to, like, oh, this has to exist, so let's pump it out, you know?
Oh.
Which I feel like Han Solo definitely, I don't know, to me, feels like that. Like, oh, we need a popular movie for this summer, so throw in that guy in the tight pants.
Yeah. The most...
Let him fly around a bunch and then they'll clap
character.
and throw popcorn at us.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It feels like just a plain old movie.
Right, and I want something new and exciting. I don't want my Star Wars anymore. I want new Star Wars because that's what's exciting, is that it can be literally anything.
Yeah.
And not the same people over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Did we say this last episode? I'm scared that the Chewie backstory
is going to be ruined.
Is going to be different and bad now.
Ruined, you mean?
Yes.
Destroyed. Your childhood.
Destroyed.
Taken away from you. Ripped from your mind.
So that's another thing. I won't go into that, but that's another thing I'm worried about just because of some of the trailers and stuff. It seems like...
But it can't be ruined. It can't be changed because that hasn't happened in canon.
Well, okay, that's wrong, first of all. It's
how they met?
Yeah, hasn't it been established in like Aftermath and stuff that Chewie owes a life debt to Han and
just
all
that
this stuff?
Pretty much just that.
But not the circumstances
right.
of it. Okay, well, maybe that's true.
Right.
Have the comics gone over it
And
at
and
all?
and with the fact that they've brought back stuff from the EU where it matters, I think that one's so ingrained in people of how Han and
That's
Chewie
what I'm
met. I
saying.
cannot see them changing that. I cannot imagine them changing that.
But the trailers are implying that Han meets Chewie
and he
as
barely knows him.
as it's like a contact that Woody Harrelson's character has. And they meet together for this job. Or they get together, they meet for the first time for this job.
I don't know.
Like every single other heist movie,
Yeah.
And they form a lasting, lifelong friendship.
Yeah.
If that's it, I'm gonna be angry.
She's gonna run through the theater screen. Yeah.
Do you know what's behind these things? Solid concrete. Hopefully everyone knows what that's from. Okay, there have been 8 Fast and the Furious movies.
I was
8
wrong. 8
movies. I have not seen one of those movies.
All right, So
That's
recently
a lot.
we started watching the Friday the 13th movies because there are lots of bad ones of those.
Yes, they're pretty much all bad.
No,
except for the first couple.
Yeah, first 3 are good.
Yeah, and there's been
one
10
here. Yeah,
so 8 out of 10 are bad.
There have been 10 because there was Jason X, but then there was also Freddy vs. Jason, which makes 11 movies, and then there was also the reboot in 2009, which makes 12 movies.
Oh yeah, the reboot.
They're all fantastic because they're cheesy.
My wife
and horrible.
forced me to walk out of the reboot because there are titties in the first 15 minutes.
Well,
oops.
She's offended by her own body.
It's up for you to decide. Am I saying oops because there are titties in it, or oops because I took my wife to that movie? That's up to you to decide. The listener. Choose your own adventure.
Yep. So yes, now we need to watch all the Fast and Furious movies because they get real weird. There's a point where
I want to watch all the Xander Cage movies too. The
There's a point, just like the Friday the 13th movies. There's a point when they're like, "All right, we've done every normal thing. Now let's put Jason in space."
Yeah, I was just gonna say space.
So now, right with Fast and the Furious, they're like, "All right, we've done normal things. We're gonna have like a half-hour car chase on a plane runway that should literally take 10 minutes because the runway's not that long." And them cars flying through the air and driving on water, and it gets real weird, and it turns into a XXX movie at some point through the series. Yeah, it gets ridiculous, insane. A few movies in.
Well, that's another series we need to watch is the XXX series because apparently that is also
insane.
Very weird.
But it started like that. It started as being a stupid, insane action movie.
I guess so.
Fast and the Furious started as something, and then I think it was like after Tokyo Drift, they're like, cars can do anything, right?
I don't even know what the premise is. They have
does
cars.
anyone-
That's all I know.
You've got it. You just described the movies. All of them, they have cars. They go real fast. They're also mad.
As implied.
Some would say furious.
Are they mad because the cars go so fast?
Or they're furious
they're
furious because they have to go fast. They can't stop. It's like it's like speed. Basically, it's like the speed. They have to go fast. They can't stop. They have to. There's no consequence to them stopping.
Okay.
They just have to do it.
Okay.
So not like speed.
It's a
and
compulsion.
the fact they won't blow up. Sure.
Okay.
They go fast because they're mad, and they're mad because they have to go fast.
Okay.
It's a circle.
Catch-22.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. I see.
Speaking of things on film of some sort. Bad.
Wow.
Segue master. There's a new Star Wars TV show coming out.
Which is not on film.
Nope. It's on ones and zeros.
It's animated.
It's on the old hard drive.
Well, guess what? We got a new Dave Filoni masterpiece coming up here. Oh boy. Oh, so exciting.
Yeah, it's created by Filoni and it's worked on by a bunch of people from Rebels and Clone Wars.
Oh yeah, we got all the greatest hits lined up here. We got Rebels art director. We've got Dave Filoni. We've got BB-8.
Bobby Moynihan as a voice. And
everybody loves BB-8. He's in there.
Sure.
We got planes. You want planes? We got Star Wars planes.
I think it looks interesting. Obviously, we've seen nothing of it other than one picture, and I think it looks cool.
It's just a picture so far. Really not a lot to go on here.
Yeah, it's a show called Star Wars Resistance. It's about Kazuda Jono, a young pilot recruited by the Resistance and tasked with a top secret mission to spy on the growing threat of the First Order. It premieres this fall. So if you remember a while back, earlier this year, late last year, there was Disney or Lucasfilm just copywrote a name. Yeah. It was Star Wars Resistance. Well, this is it. This is what that was.
Didn't people think it was going to be like a game or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the thought at first. But yeah, so it's created by Dave Filoni and
2D animation
this fall, and it's actually 2D animation, and it is an anime style animation.
Yeah.
Which looks, and it's the reason he came up with the show is for his love of World War II, like dogfights with the planes and all that. Right. And I like the art style, at least from the image we've had so far. With there's BB-8 and there's a fighter flying by, and it looks very anime.
Yeah, like the Knights of Sidonia type. It's almost like computer generated anime in a way,
but like soft computer generated.
Yeah,
like not that 3D looking.
Right.
I don't know.
It looks interesting. Yeah, I'm being a little facetious. I am actually excited for it.
It looks really cool, and especially if it's about like I don't know pilots and ship fighting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's the secret mission. I don't know. I picked it like it reminded me of like Attack on Titan, the art style a little bit, just more colorful.
Yeah. Whoa.
And I don't know the fighter that was flying by looked very much like a World War II type plane, and I don't know. I'm excited. You'll get to see people such as Poe and Phasma and others involved at some point. They said. So I don't know.
There's an anime character named Roger Smith.
Why isn't there? Of course there is. So I'm glad about this show for one reason. It is about just a pilot guy person.
No Jedi.
Just a person, people.
Although I'm sure we'll find out.
Right. I'm like I said, they said that you'll see Poe and Phasma and others throughout the series.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's literally just about a person in Star Wars doing Star Wars things,
which sounds great.
Right. Like it doesn't have to affect anything else. Now it is in the period before Force Awakens because obviously they're sent on a mission to spy on the First Order.
Right.
And that may affect some outcome in a movie or something we've seen.
So this is actually right after Bloodlines. Right. Bloodlines?
Yeah, so they're like spying on the First Order, and I guess this
is right after the Resistance was
building
formed.
up the First Order, building itself up.
Yeah, so this is right after the Resistance was formed, right after Poe joined, and everything.
Yeah, so we get to see stuff that is cool to have information about.
Yeah,
with somebody that we don't have to care about.
Right.
We don't have to care about what happens before or after them or with them because they haven't mattered.
Yeah.
Yet.
So this is that new kind of story that you were talking about.
Exactly. So we have someone that is going to be important, and we get to learn that.
Yeah.
But anything before them doing this and anything after them doing this probably doesn't matter all that much.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I mean, obviously, whatever they do with the First Order probably affects some outcome and how whatever. But it's just about someone who will have adventures in Star Wars. And we'll get to see cool Star Wars things and find out more information about other Star Wars things, but whatever they do won't affect time travel.
Well, we'll see. There's always a chance.
If Tarkin or Ahsoka or Thrawn show up and suddenly there's if there anybody from Rebels just appears.
Surprise, it's actually Rebels. Season 5.
The pilot that they've talked about this whole time just never takes their helmet off until one time they take off the full visor and helmet, and it's
Ezra.
It's Ezra. Yeah.
Surprise, season 5, and then it's just Rebels the whole rest of the season.
And there's like a left to right wipe in the art style, just changes back to Rebels. The Rebels computer generated.
Gotcha, bitch.
Right. Damn it.
Tricked again.
It's like 3 seasons in, so you're invested in the story.
What? It's been this the whole time? It's like Lost. The last season of Lost.
Yeah. So what was the point to everything I already saw? Great.
Right.
Fantastic. No, I am excited about it. I am glad that there's a new Star Wars show. And this isn't the show that we're getting on the streaming service, which is going to be a live action show. So there's going to be 2 Star Wars shows.
This might be on the streaming service.
Well, I'm saying it, but it's not the one we've already talked about. That's going to be a live action
this is
show.
separate. Yeah.
So there's going to be this one's starting in the fall. So there's going to be 2 Star Wars TV shows.
Yeah.
Happening concurrently, most likely, along with 1,800 Star Wars films apparently that are going to be made. So there's going to be a lot of Star Wars, and some of it will be good at some point in the future.
See? I mean, this is something we gotta.
I like that they announced it and we're getting it this fall. Like,
yeah,
wait 4 or 5, I don't know, something like that months, and we're gonna have this show.
Right.
It's not like, we just decided we're gonna have a TV show in 2021. Stick around.
I mean, here's something to get used to now. That's we've got so much Star Wars. Not all of it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, when you start to saturate the market with that much stuff, some of it can't be great because you're just pumping it out.
Start remembering what it felt like to watch the prequels. Where you're just so excited to have new Star Wars, but then you watch it and realize, oh no.
We didn't need this at all.
Oh no.
Yeah. No, this show should be good. Filoni can make good Star Wars shows because Clone Wars was fantastic.
Yep.
He did it once, he can do it again.
3rd time's a charm.
That's the saying. So do that, Filoni. Please.
All right.
Michael, we live in Orlando.
What? Really?
Yes, and we've talked about it on the episodes before, that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Park at Disney Hollywood Studios is coming. And we've talked about the Millennium Falcon ride and fancy hotel. That's really just going to be a LARP experience.
Yep. They planted a bunch of trees.
They did.
For Galaxy's Edge. All the trees are there now. So you can't see anything.
They've got the trees. It's almost done.
Yep. Pretty much there.
Apparently Orlando is still months behind schedule on building compared to California.
Is it really?
Yeah, still.
Why?
So I'll call up Mr. Disney.
Why? Tell me.
Because it's Florida.
Hello, Bob Disney.
Bob Disney Iger here.
Why?
It's because it's Florida and it's Orlando, which means construction will be around forever and never stop, and they don't ever finish anything.
We live in a state of incomplete construction.
Right. Yeah, so Orlando is months behind, so it'll be interesting to see if they open at the same time or not. But one thing we talked about recently, it was either last episode or episode before, about the cantina that is coming to Galaxy's Edge.
Oh,
we were talking about how they filed a license for a, food service and entertainment, like license, whatever.
Ooh. Oh.
Well, apparently there's more information on the cantina, that it will be a full service sit down restaurant, and will have 2 sections. So it'll have the sit down section, that's table service with live music with a performance area, and then there's another like quick service bar section. So kind of like the side that Obi-Wan and Luke went into at the cantina. It'll have like a cantina bar area.
Okay.
Like we saw in the cantina, but then there will be sit down restaurant with like live cantina performance, whatever.
Interesting.
So that's interesting. And it's going to be right across from the Millennium Falcon ride. And it's cool to be able to talk about this stuff, and the lands are exact mirrors, so it's not like we're talking about the one at Disney World, because they're both going to be the exact same.
Right.
Which is cool.
Right.
So yes, there is a cantina that's going to have live performance stuff in it, and probably giant turkey legs because it's Disney. And I still can't think about the theme park without just thinking about the fact that theme park goers will still be there in the Star Wars area, trying to experience. Well, yeah.
So get to this next thing, and then we'll go back and talk about that.
So there's another ride. We've talked a lot about the Falcon ride because that's the one that's I don't know, innovative and new, and it's the Millennium Falcon, and they've talked about how you get to fly it, and we've seen recently that it's like literally almost a flight simulator.
Yeah.
And how the outcomes can be different if you do good or bad in the flight simulator, and
Right.
you know, they've said before it can affect the world around you, which there is a lot of like wireless, especially with the magic bands. Supposedly stuff can follow you, quote, throughout the park, like, you know, you have a reputation.
Okay.
Especially with like the Falcon ride. You
Yeah.
know, if you did something, you know, that affects the First Order, maybe they won't like you, but I don't know how that'll affect you because there's going to be literally hundreds of people in there. But there's another ride that we haven't talked a lot about that I really hadn't looked that much into before, because I knew it was going to, because there's the park's kind of, that section's kind of split into two things. You've got the Millennium Falcon ride is a big part of it, and there's another part that's like the First Order base,
Yeah.
like their hangar and all of that.
But then there's also like the cantina area with the Millennium Falcon. That's like the neutral area.
Right. There's like
And
a
then
merchant, like a merchant's row, and
There's a
shops.
There's
and
a
stuff.
resistance area.
Right.
Yeah, and then there's this First Order.
And there's this
area.
big First Order section.
And we've talked about it before when we brought up this kind of life-size or supposedly life-size hangar.
Right.
Star Destroyer hangar, I think they said.
It's supposed to be like a full-size hangar, and there's supposed to be a ride inside of it, but at the same time we were talking about how you're supposed to be able to actually be inside the hangar.
Right. And we mentioned the Stormtrooper show that's going to be put on.
Dancing out front.
Yeah.
But the there's no name for it yet. It's just called the First Order Battle Escape or Stormtrooper Escape Trackless Dark Ride.
First Order Battle Escape Trackless Dark Ride
from Hasbro. So apparently they dug like a pit where this building is too. So there's like multi-level ride in there. But like it mentions, it's a trackless ride. So apparently Disney wants you to rush to your wireless and trackless vehicle, board it, and then disembark and reboard the vehicle on different levels of the massive ride building several times during the course of a long experience, all while under attack by stormtroopers. The pit currently being dug deep into the ground on the Alcatraz site. Alcatraz is the code name for this ride.
Okay.
The Alcatraz site is required for the elevator mechanism that will make the multi-level ride possible. Imagine riding Pirates of the Caribbean, but getting off your boat in the caverns to explore the skeletal remains, getting back in your boat quickly when you hear Barbossa attacking the fort, sailing along until you get out of your boat a second time in the auction scene to interact with the panicky townsfolk for a while, and then reboard your boat quickly when the fire breaks out to escape by sailing through the ride's finale.
Interesting.
So apparently the ride is going to have over 150 animatronic stormtroopers, plus additional animatronic Star Wars characters from the tiny to the gargantuan.
Wow.
So it is.
Have you ever ridden?
It is large Star Wars bumper car scavenger hunt.
Have you ever ridden the Kong ride at Universal?
No, I haven't.
That's a wireless trackless ride too. It's basically this giant car that follows. It's like a GPS route basically. Okay. So it's this big warehouse that has set pieces and stuff, and the car just drives around. There's no track
like
or anything.
Park. Without the track.
Yeah, there's no track. That's what I'm saying.
Not Jurassic Park the ride, Jurassic Park the park.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without
so it's that, but without the track. The Jeep's just driving around.
Right. It's all GPS based. So this sounds like this is going to be something similar to where there's this just giant ride vehicle that everybody gets in, and you just go to certain spots.
But you board, disembark, like board, get off, get back on, and do stuff during the ride.
Yeah. Okay, so
just the way reading that sounds like Star Wars bumper cars with the scavenger hunt mixed in. And I can't imagine any of that going well or flowing at all with the kind of people that go on Disney rides.
Yeah.
It's hard enough waiting in line with those people and getting them to move when the line moves.
Right.
But can you imagine running around to do stuff with them on a ride while having to get back in cars and probably fight just to get them to move for you to continue the ride?
Right.
That I don't
understand
how that's
like
possible.
This and the Millennium Falcon ride. I don't understand how you're gonna have all these idiot tourists and be able to pile them in there and get them to move and be fast and all this stuff. I mean, you've got this new Avatar ride at Animal Kingdom that's been there for a year or more,
something like that.
And the wait times are still like over an hour.
Yeah.
That's just like a
normal
ride.
days over an hour. On busy days, it's like over 2.
That's just like a ride. You go and you just sit down. And it's like a projection in front of you. You know,
right. It has a schedule.
Yeah, I mean,
because
there's
the
nothing
ride
to it.
length is mandatory.
Right, there's nothing to it.
So if people are driving their
So
own
now you're
vehicles,
talking about you're talking about having a ride like that, but with multiple stops in between where you have to unload and load.
so
people?
one is it multiple vehicles where like each group of 4 has their own cart to like, because what I'm thinking, and especially from what like the promotional images, I'm assuming the vehicle is one of those like troop carrier little transports that drive
probably
around, like those 6-person, like they sit on the side and
Yeah.
they take the troops around a hangar to their ships or whatever.
Yeah.
I imagine it's one of those type of things.
Probably.
So one, I hope to God no tourist is driving their own vehicle, because that's not gonna go well.
No.
Right?
That's not gonna happen.
So it's driving you around. But if you have to get off, how do they make you get back on to keep the ride going? How does that? You have to get off the ride and get back on. I just don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna work to where it's not gonna be a terrible experience.
Unless it's something like the Void experience, the VR experience, not being VR, but like where you get into like it pulls up somewhere and it's like, oh, you shoot those stormtroopers while you put in this thing, and it's like all very time based, and it probably happens whether you push the buttons or not.
Maybe.
And then it's like, all right, get back on the car.
But still, that's what I'm saying is when you have to, even when you bake in time for unloading people and loading people and some stragglers in there too.
Right.
That's still a long That's a long ride.
And to have to pump people through that ride.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult time-wise.
I'm really interested in seeing how they make this stuff work. Because they have to be obviously they're thinking about this stuff.
I mean, Disney has more than enough experience of ride times and waits and all that.
Right. So like this
it's going to be a nightmare for the first 5 years getting onto either of these rides.
It could be. Yeah. It could be. I'm really interested in seeing how they make this stuff work. And how it's not just you're just going to another themed land with a bunch of people eating turkey legs and taking pictures with their iPads.
And it's different. I mean, and the only reason it's different is not because it's my Star Wars, but because they've said how immersive this world is, where it's like when you walk in, you're a part of it, and there's like even the merchants are almost in character. Like everything is in character.
Yeah.
And it's not like that.
Everything's a big story.
It's not like that at any other Disney park, right?
Right.
I mean, the merchants aren't in character. There's like street performers, in Hollywood studios that are, big Hollywood people. And
there are themes.
There's no
like
it's a theme
story
park.
or
it's just like Avatar. They have those battle mech people walking around now.
Yeah.
Just to add theme to the world, but it's not immersive theme.
Yeah, it's not
to the point of the Avatar ride is like you go and get in a line and get on the Avatar ride because it's a ride.
Right.
Here you're doing you're doing stuff because it's part of the world and you're now into Star Wars.
Right.
And there's just everyone that exists and works in that land is I guess acting is not just a Disney cast member in their stripy shirt. Like they look like they're part of the world now.
Right.
So how you make it that immersive while you also have people like running around with their map trying to figure stuff out and throwing their turkey bones on the ground. Right?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. It's
because you're going to lose that immersion as soon as anyone else walks into that area of the park.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The idea here sounds really fun.
Right.
When it works well,
Yes.
Like if this can work smoothly and you have people that actually want to be there and know what's happening, then this sounds really fun.
Yeah, when it's like a paid ticketed Star Wars event.
Yeah.
But this is just going to be part of Disney.
Right.
Where you have
theme park in Orlando, Florida.
You have a group of 6 people that are all in scooters driving around because none of them can walk or are unwilling to. And they're driving side by side because they also don't know how walkways work. And they're running into everything.
All I can think of is
Star Wars.
Is Murderface's grandmother from Metalocalypse. It's giant.
Yeah. So basically that, but in the Star Wars area where you have the Disney strollers with the giant flags on them and yeah. So it's the immersion is lost as soon as any
Brazilian
Disney
high school groups that are all yelling chants.
Yeah, they're all singing their school song or whatever. Yeah, you're gonna lose that immersion as soon as any group of people walks into that area
Yeah.
that isn't, I don't know, Star Wars fans that bought a special ticket to go
I'm
here.
really interested in seeing how this all works out.
How any of it logistically works, because so far none of it sounds, every bit I've heard sounds like a nightmare logistically to make happen and be smooth.
Yeah. But the visuals of it, everything they've said so far sounds incredible.
Right.
Like
yeah,
it's just gonna blow your mind. The kind of stuff that the sets and everything that they're gonna have.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So hopefully that all works. And it's supposed to come out. It was next fall,
year.
right? Next summer or next fall?
They've just said 2019 so far.
Okay.
Probably be the fall or winter.
Yeah.
End of the year or something like that.
If it stays on schedule.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, I mean, that's another super cool, innovative sounding ride. Just like the Falcon is like unlike a ride I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how any of it will work. But I'm excited.
Well, I think that's it for today.
Yeah. We found things to discuss.
We did.
We dug into the well of Star Wars. And
every time we dig in the
things.
well, we come back up with just the last little bit of grime that's there. And then it rains in between us going to the well. So we have a little bit of water and a little bit of grime.
Less and less every week.
We're starting to get a little bit of chunks of brick in these scoops.
Starting to bring up, just bricks. And like, is this information? Is this worthy of discussing?
Every time we scoop, we come back to less and less people who want water.
Oh, God, let the Solo movie come out and be good. And that there will be more things to talk about that aren't Solo. Because every week it's just more.
Tyler,
guess what else happened with these Solo shitholes? Great. Fantastic.
Tyler, it's Star Wars. We can always find something to talk about.
I'm gonna have to start reading the comics to find things to talk about at this point.
Yeah.
Or reading the books. I don't got time for that.
Hey, the Vader comic has been pretty good. I've been keeping up on that.
Yeah.
It's been good.
I know. I see things on the internet.
From me. Oops.
There's so many books out too. I started reading Last Shot. I got through the first chapter.
Oh, that's out. I totally forgot that's out.
Last Shot's been out for
a while.
Why
are we talking about that?
Because you haven't read it.
Well, so neither of you.
Yeah, I read the first chapter and it was interesting. Someone tried to kill Lando. Intrigue. I haven't found out anything other than that.
All right.
And he banged a Twi'lek.
Oh.
They showered together.
Oh, now that's
because it's Lando
in my territory.
And she was the tour guide for a children's school group that was visiting Cloud City.
That's pretty good.
So it's definitely Lando.
Wait, he's not the Baron of Cloud City at this point, is he?
He's like the something administrator. Like he's not like
really.
He's like he's not. I forget what his term was.
Well, wait, is this past Lando or is this current Lando?
I mean, he's at Cloud City, so somewhat older Lando. I don't know how. I don't know what. I don't know where the timeline was.
This isn't the Lando we see in the Solo movie.
No.
This is older Lando. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right, so this is older Lando still banging chicks.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's Lando and smooth. So I started Last Shot, and I really liked the one chapter I read, but my house has been falling apart. I have not gotten to read anymore. So once I prop my house up with some more sticks, I'll start reading that book again.
Once you get that tarp over the giant hole in your roof.
Yeah. Once I sling a hammock over that hole in the floor and a tarp over the hole in the roof, I'll be set.
You'll be set.
Yeah. So yeah, you start reading it too, and then maybe next time we can talk about it.
Hooray! I did read Lords of the Sith. I finished that.
That was one of the first
recently
books that came out.
Yeah, it was. It was like 2016 or something. 2015. I don't know. But wow, it was really good.
Yeah,
and the way it
one
ends,
of the few I didn't read.
Did I mention this the last episode? I can't remember now.
I think you mentioned you were reading it.
Okay, well I finished it. And I apologize if I've talked about this already, but the ending is incredible. It ends on such a dark note. Like
just Palpatine being a dick and Vader hating himself.
It ends with them killing everything.
Just everything.
And these are things that you have become invested in.
Nice.
Over the course of the book. And everyone dies except Vader and Palpatine. at the end of the book.
Interesting.
It's really good.
Yeah, when all the first round of books that came out, I read almost every single one, but that was one that I never did for some reason.
Yeah, it's definitely worth reading.
I'll have to pick it up after Last Shot.
It's a great kind of like Heir to the Jedi, which was like a little side story with Luke.
Yeah,
it's one of those good side story type books that don't necessarily affect the larger canon, but they're just really good stories. So if you're in the mood for something that's not throwaway, but not necessarily impacting a whole lot of other stuff, definitely read that.
Nice.
It's really good.
All right, maybe we'll read some or all of Last Shot by next episode.
Amazing. Unlikely.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen. But if you enjoy the show, please go on to the iTunes or some form of internet service that provides reviews to podcasts and leave us a star rating with words of your choosing. Explain why you love and or hate us or are ambivalent.
Hello, I could care less about this show.
5 stars.
Did and did not like it.
And
etc.
You can find us on all of the things like Twitter. We're at Hokey_religion, or on Facebook, facebook.com/HokeyReligion. But if you really like the show, you can go to patreon.com/HokeyReligion and support us with as little as $1 a month. At $2.50 a month, you get a sticker. You can just do it one time just to get the sticker and then peace out. But it supports the show and helps us to pay for the things that cost money, because the show is not free to us, but it's free to you. So remember that.
You're welcome, you fucking stupid people.
Well, there goes another 10 of them. And
I have to end every episode with insulting the people that stick around.
And if you want to just send us an email, you can go to you can send an email to asklobot@hokeyreligion.com. You can send us whatever you desire, and you'll be guaranteed that one of us will see it and be scared by whatever random thing you sent us.
Send us an email with your junk.
I think those are all of the things that we always plug.
The things we care about. Our Twitter.
Yep, got that. That guy still won't let us have just straight Hokey religion because I don't think he actually uses his Twitter.
Nope.
And I can't just steal it because Twitter doesn't allow you to take names that are unused.
Follow us on Facebook if you still do that.
Yeah, we got a page on Facebook, and people do message us there, so you can reach us that way as well. And I've got nothing else. Michael.
And I have nothing else also.
All right. Well, this has been Hokey Religion, episode 70. This is Tyler.
This is Michael.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hokey Religion is an ancient weapon. Hokey Religion is an ancient weapon, so no magic for a good blaster at your side.